Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss Gamer, starring Gerard Butler, Michael C. Hall, John Leguizamo, Alison Lohman, Amber Valletta, Kira Sedgwick, Ludacris, and Logan Lerman, directed by Neville Dean and Taylor. Now, I have seen this movie before, and it came out right after Crank 2. Did I like it? I'll talk about it. Let's get into it. A new video game called Slayers just arrived in the world, and the lead in it is Cable, with a K, played by Gerard Butler, as this is a violent video game, as the game is set in a post apocalyptic war with soldiers and criminals, as Cable says to a player controlling him, "Turn me around," and he gets rogue as we're in a video game world, which is confusing the hell out of me. Ken Castle, played by Michael C. Hall from that TV show Dexter, is the inventor of Slayers, and Gina Parker Smith, played by Kira Sedgwick, is the TV host as they talk about the game and how it works. And my problem is this movie is very fucking confusing on what this plot wants to be. A message saying the game is a lie is sent by Human's brother, is what he's called, played by Ludacris, as he hacks the Gina Parker Smith show, excuse me. And I don't think I'm caring for these characters as much as I want to. Cable and Freak, who's played by John Leguizamo, talk about how Cable has a different name and how he's getting out of the game with his, I'm assuming, wife Angie, played by Amber Valletta, and daughter Delia, and he signs a piece of paper on how he can get out, and I am confused as hell on what this movie is all about. As an audience member, that's not too fair to not follow this craziness. But I'll give it this. It is crazy, but is it as crazy as Crank? Hell no. Just no. It's not as crazy as Crank. Cable meets Sandra, who's a part of the game, and the mystery woman getting an autograph by Cable a few minutes ago. I'm guessing, because I don't know what the fuck this is all about. And another game begins, what they're shooting things up. And the movie is loud and noisy to the point it felt like a headache of a movie. The game is a hit worldwide, and do I get why that is? Honestly, not really. Then we meet the guy playing as Cable named Simon, played by Logan Lerman, and I do like this actor as he'll eventually be in the Percy Jackson movies and Fury with Brad Pitt, but he's terrible here in this movie. Just right off the bat. Hell, everybody is terrible in this fucking movie. They send out Hackman, played by Terry Crews, whom I swear to God, I can never take this guy seriously when I see him in a serious role. I can't I can't. But he's programmed to go after Cable, and this is suddenly turning into the problem I had with Crank 2 High Voltage, where this isn't supposed to be a comedy, but the movie is treating it like one, and that is again highly unnecessary. And I'd say Terry Crews is miscast. Despite he has muscles, Hackman threatens to kill Cable on the next game on the Sunday when he gets out. Well, we'll talk about it, and goes to his two pretty girls, and Simon talks to Cable as he can hear him as he's playing the game, and Hackman brought up a couple of minutes ago. Cable sees Freak getting killed in the game as he's told Simon that the game has real people in it, which is very serious, and Hackman gets Cable as he almost shoots him dead, but Cable beats his ass, and I'm going to say this quite repeatedly because they keep going that same route. Asks Simon to get him out of the game, and I like the concept, but it's executed very poorly. A mystery woman tells Cable Simon is doing what he can to help him out there. And who is it? Honestly, I don't care. Cable gets loose thanks to Simon, and he starts off very useless at the final game. Then he gets his shit together and vomits and pees in the gas console to get a car driving as Hackman begins to attack, and Cable knocks his ass down. How many times am I going to say that? I'll count it out. And gets out of the game, and he crashes into cars and shoots motherfuckers up as he becomes fragged, and I'm beginning to check out of this movie at this point, and I have 45 minutes left into this movie. Fuck. Cable goes with Tracy, played by Allison Lohman, who's married to one of the directors, but moving on, she takes him to the humans, with the Z at the end, I'll say, and also meets one of the humans, Dude, who's played by Aaron Yu, who I reviewed in the 2009 Friday the 13th remake, and was barely in the 2010 remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street. And the movie begins to lose me at this point. Cable gets back with Angie and gets her out and bumps into Hackman, and Hackman takes her into the elevator, and Cable catches up and breaks and beats his ass once again, third time. This is much worse than I remember this movie being at a point. At this point, it's intoxicating. Gina picks up Cable and Angie, and Simon gets interrogated by the cops as he's asked the cops for a sandwich, which is very stupid, as it turns out Gina is with the humans, and I'm thinking this movie is getting preposterous to the point I don't understand this goddamn plot. Cable interrogates Ken Castle, remember him, and points a gun at him and shoots him, which was in his brain, which is completely a mind fuck. As Cable sits somewhere quietly and finds Angie as they learn Delia was captured by Ken Castle, and Cable goes outside and Simon is released, only to be called a cheater. And Cable goes to Ken Castle and fights him, and the men protecting him as they kill the humans is, well, this is fake, by the way. This is all a mind fuck right there. And Cable begins to beat the living shit out of them and continues to fight Hackman for the last time and breaks both his sides of his neck. And Gina exposes Ken Castle as he says to Cable, "You're mine, boy," and starts to beating up on Cable, and Cable can't harm Ken Castle. And he finds Angie and Delia in front of him, and Ken Castle almost forced to kill Delia, and Simon stops Ken Castle as Cable almost kills Ken Castle, and he finally does, all thanks to Simon, as Angie and Delia are reunited with Cable, and the game makers set them all free and becoming a family again. And this climax is a complete headache, and I am not thrilled with how this movie turned out. Sorry, guys. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 1.6 out of 10. This movie is preposterous, and the characters are not relatable whatsoever. I was checked out 45 minutes before the damn thing was done, and I thought, please end. I don't understand this plot nor this movie. The concept is good, don't get me wrong, but it was executed very poorly. So, thank you guys for joining me for the Neville Dean Taylor, adding with Crank and Crank 2 and Gamer. And I already did Ghost Rider when I did the Marvel stuff. And until we get their next movie, I don't know if they'll ever work together again, but until then, game on.